Hey guys, how's it going? Eminem Gaming here, and today we're back with another video. And today we're going to be talking about my top 10 favorite games of all time. And yeah, this question was asked to me from a subscriber, Legend of Gamer. I'm going to put her Twitter handle in the description. Go follow her, go subscribe to her on YouTube. She's really funny. She's a huge supporter of the channel, and I got a huge amount of respect for her. So yeah, go check her out, man. And if you do have a question, make sure to let me know in the comment section or on Twitter. My handle should be in the top left, so if you want to check that out and all that good stuff. So this is a very difficult list to make for me personally, because you know, it kind of changes with me, and it's hard to nail down that this is number one, this is number two, and all this sort of stuff, because it kind of changes for me, and I change my mind a lot on this. And you'd think it'd be easy, just say, oh, this is your favorite game, but I guess it's just different mentalities at different times. Now, disclaimer on this one. I haven't played every game, I'm only 19, nearly 20. I've really only played on the PS1, the Xbox 360, PS3, 2, PS4, all that good stuff. So bear in mind, I haven't played every game. I've missed out on a lot of games, so bear that in mind when this is my list. Some of these games, and I will say, I have put on for more nostalgic reasons, for memory, childhood, whatever it may be. That's the reason they're on the list. And again, this is, my list of my personal favorites, whether it be not maybe gameplay, but maybe from, like I said, emotional standpoint. So bear that in mind. So I hope you enjoy it, guys. Let me know yours. There is no right and wrong on this list. So yeah, just let me know your guys' opinion. But in number 10, typically showing maybe that the whole nostalgia, emotional standpoint. In number 10, Crash Bandicoot 1. Now I know what you're thinking. Why is that on the list? You've said many a time it's not even your favourite Crash Bandicoot game, which is true. 3 is my favourite. I absolutely adored that game. But this was the first game somebody bought for me. Now I say owned, but I didn't buy it. Somebody gave it to me. So for me, this game has a lot of nostalgia on that sense. One of the first games, actually the first game I played on the PS1. Absolutely adored it. It was one of those franchises. I wasn't a huge gamer when I was younger. I played the games I wanted, but I never really was huge into it. This was a game I absolutely adored and could play for absolute hours. Crash Bandicoot 3, like I said, was the best, but even to this day, just playing through Uncharted 4, spoilers, there is a small section where you do play Crash Bandicoot, and it just brings back so many memories, man. And that's why I lost my goddamn mind at E3 2016 when Sean Layden come out on the stage with Crash coming behind him. I think it really shows, I think, we look at gaming nowadays, there's a lot of talk of teraflops and GPUs and CPUs and all this sort of stuff that I have literally no idea. I report the news to you guys. I try and, put my slant on it, give you my 5 cents and whatever. But at the end of the day, I have literally no idea what it means. But at the same time, it just shows that a basic game with just like a cute mascot with fun gameplay mechanics can still live up to this day. And that's what I love. And that's what I love about, the Mario series. That's what I love about, Pokemon. These are not, game-changing games, but they are at the same time because they're all about gameplay. So Crash Bandicoot 1 at number 10. And yeah, I hope you guys agree. And let me know your thoughts. Again, like I said, your top 10. Number 9, Bully. Now, again, it's another one. The time I played it, if you've had me on PSN, I have been playing this a lot recently. I've just put it down because I platinumed the game. This game was amazing. I loved. Bear in mind the time this came out, I was in school, so you can kind of see the sort of cliques that's in there. You got the posh boys, you got the jocks, you got the nerds. You know what I'm saying? That's really cool, and I love. Now Rockstar, I've said many a time, top two, top three developers of all time. They're my favourites. Naughty Dog's just above them. But what I love about Rockstar is the fact that they take the mick out of society at the time. They kind of, take what's popular in society, put a twist on it, laugh at it, and whatever they do it about, whether it be like GTA with gangsters or bully at school, they kind of, really hit the nail on the head with what actually goes on there, but kind of over exaggerates it a little bit. So that's why absolutely um, Bully is on this list. And like I said, was playing this during school, so it was just like, wow, this kind of this actually happens. Some of it, maybe not as drastic as it is. I just love going around that open world. Just on my either on your bike, skateboard, or if you win all the go-kart races, on the go-kart, zooming around, causing trouble for the police. It's really, really awesome. And yeah, a lot of fun. And I will recommend it if you've got a PS4, never played it. Make sure you change that. It's not too expensive. I got it on sale for about £7, so I don't know if it's any longer on sale, but it's an easy platinum. The game's superb. I recommend you guys pick it up if you've never played it. And I honestly think you'll have a lot of fun. And if you don't, like I said, easy platinums, will never complain at them. At number 8, now this is a kind of a cheat, and there's two of them on the list, which you could argue is very much, cheating, because it is, but it's my list, so I'm going to kind of give myself a pass on this one, and that is Ratchet and Clank. And I know what you're thinking, there's nothing wrong with that, that's a franchise you mentioned many times on your channel. Well, I'm kind of cheating here because I'm adding both of them in. I'm adding the PS2 version and the PS4 version into this. If it was to go purely on the PS2 version, I'd probably go with Ratchet and Clank 3. I think that was the most fun I had on a Ratchet and Clank game. But with the first one and the reimagining, I think it just shows that yeah, it just really reminded me of my childhood. So I put in the first one in and the reimagining of the first one in. And yeah, I absolutely love Ratchet and Clank. I've said many a time, it's my favourite of the 3D platformer series Sony had during the PS2 era. So they had Jak and Daxter, they had Sly Cooper, and they had Ratchet and Clank. And I've said many a time, I'm a sucker for those games. Give me a good 3D platformer, give me those sort of games. That's what that's my bread and butter. Of course, I like shooters. I love Uncharted. Battlefield 4 is just an amazing game. So I do like shooters, but for me, these sort of games, the Ratchet and Clank, Sly Coopers, Crash Bandicoot to a lesser extent, because that was obviously like a little bit different or whatever. But yeah, this is my that's my game in heaven. Do you know what I'm saying? So absolutely, Ratchet and Clank's going to be on there, and I think I'm gonna say this. If you guys watch my channel for a long time, I'm a huge Bloodborne fan. I'm a huge Bloodborne fan. I love Dark Souls 3. Never really got into the other Dark Souls for some reason. I never got into Demon Souls. Dark Souls 1 or 2, they were just a little bit too slow for me. Apart from Demon Souls, because I just simply never played that at the time. Didn't play that. So the other ones I did play, and they were just a little bit too slow for me. But for me, Bloodborne completely flipped that, the slow gameplay. No, you were encouraged to attack. But I don't know why I'm talking about Bloodborne 4, because we're on about Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank, to me, is the second best game released this generation for the PS4 on any console, in my humble opinion. the best game, second best game this generation. It was funny. It took the first one and expanded it. I loved the first one as well. And yeah, I can't say much more better about Ratchet and Clank. One of the best series out there. And please, please, Insomniac, I know you're making Spider-Man and it's going to be a masterpiece and I'm going to love it, which we'll get into in a minute. But at the same time, do not kill Ratchet and Clank. Please, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure you're watching this, probably not, but at the same time, yeah, Ratchet and Clank at number 8. Now, at number 7, as I just said about Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2 for the PS2. Now, I don't remember a ton of this. I just remember it being my personal childhood. I played the hell out of this game. I did all, you know, I love going around the map, helping out civilians, you know, collecting all those balloons. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that was, you know, hilarious. I loved the game. I don't know what it is about me. There's like 3 superheroes I like, but there's only one I really, really love. Like, I like the Hulk, I like the Flash. I think these are cool characters. If there's any like TV shows or movies with them in, I'll watch it and I'll probably enjoy watching it with them in. I don't know why I like those characters. It's just something about them. But Spider-Man has always been like that one character I always loved. And to me, this was my favourite Spider-Man game. That's why it's on this top 10 list. And I just think, you know, like I said earlier about the teraflops and all that sort of stuff, you look at that PS2 version, Spider-Man 2, you compare it to the latest Activision version on the PS4, you know what I'm saying, with all this power and everything, and it's still 10 times a better game, in my opinion, than the new Spider-Man. So it's absolutely crazy, and a game that should be on PS2 emulation. Why it's not already, I can't tell you guys. I'm going to be honest. You know, I love Ape Escape 2. I'll be getting that, but this should definitely be on PS2 emulation, in my humble opinion. But in number 6, this may be a little bit controversial because some people say it's the least favourite of the series. Some people say it's like, okay, it's kind of in the middle. To me, it's my favourite, and it's at number 6, and that is GTA 5. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, what the hell? You know, what about San Andreas? What about, you know, GTA 4 or whatnot? For me, this was the best one. The amount of hours I've put into the online in this game is insane. Like, it really is. Like, if I was to go and check, I think it's around about 15 days. So, and I think I've said it many a time on my channel, if you've been a long-term subscriber or whatnot. I don't play online games like that. I play FIFA. I played Battlefield for quite a while to get the trophies, and then I left it, even though it's a really fun multiplayer, because I'm just a single-player guy. That's what I am. I like RPGs, you know, single-player RPGs and all that. But this was something special online. It's almost 2 games. You can play through the story and never touch the online and still have a ton of secrets, a ton of collectibles, a ton of, you know, side missions. You know, there's like a serial killer in the game, and you can, like, if you find like certain posters, I believe they're posters around the map, which are very well spread out, you can actually get a new story. There's side stories with like getting the nuclear waste and all this sort of stuff. Like, it's really just an amazing game, and I love it to pieces. But the multiplayer, man, it's a racer, but it does it well. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a competitive shooter, and it's a, you know, it's like a hunter, and you know, that hunter sort of, you know, you play as one character hunting the rest of the characters. You know, it's a survival thing. You know, it's crazy everything it does in this game. You can parachute, you can, you know, swim. You know, it's just everything in one game. And usually when you put so much into a game, but not this game. This game absolutely does everything amazing, in my humble opinion. So in number 5, this may actually, again, the second cheat in this video, but it's very difficult. I may not go on about this one too much because it's very much a story-driven game, and I'm trying my best not to do spoilers. But The Walking Dead Season 1 and 2. Now, It's hard to distinguish which is my favourite, so I kind of lump them together. So I do apologise. It is a big old cheat, just like Ratchet and Clank. I know it, absolute scumbag, but at the same time, both amazing games. I'd say if I was gun to my head, got to pick one. The first one, yeah, it was one of those times I was just getting back into gaming. Actually, not long after The Last of Us, and at the time I was playing that game, was a very not to be one of these drama channels on YouTube, do you know what I'm saying? But a very difficult time in my personal life, and just playing this game and having to make. And again, I'm trying not to spoil the game, but like the decisions you have to make in that game, particularly at the end of number one, seeing Clementine grow up into number two, being emotionally invested in those characters. It was one of the first games that kind of did it for a long time, at least for me personally. I absolutely loved it, and I will always say, Telltale are probably got to be in my top 10 developers because, okay, their games run on goddamn cell phones. I realise that, you know what I'm saying? They have them on the iOS app. I do realise this, and, they put them on everything. So it's not graphically a stunning game by any stretch of the imagination. But they just make masterpieces in storytelling. They make masterpieces. They're not just okay, overhyped games. These are creme de la creme. These are, and it's every game that they do. Tales of the Borderlands the same. I didn't think it'd be any good. Game of Thrones the same. But The Walking Dead was the step above everything, in my humble, honest opinion. So I can't say enough good about it. Just go out and buy it. I believe if you've got a Vita, it's actually only £5 for the next month. So I'm going to pick it up again. I just need another reason to play it. And if you offer me a platinum and you offer me a new device to play it on, I'm going to pick it up. And it'll be the third time I've bought the same game. So that's how you know it's good. Or I'm bad with money. Probably both. So number 4. Now this is a difficult one. I'm going to be honest. And I think it's because the time I played it, I was a very, very busy person. So I kind of took a long time to beat it, even though I loved the game. And I think that's why it's kind of lower down on the list. Still one of the great games of all time, but a little bit controversial. I can see it being a little bit controversial, being this low down at number 4. And that is Red Dead Redemption. Now, Red Dead, during the 360 day, now I played it on the 360 just to let you know. During the 360 days, this was, to me, it blew my mind. I didn't think games could do what this game did. It was open world. It was beautiful. The gun mechanics were great. Even though I haven't played it on backwards compatibility. I've seen some YouTubers say it doesn't hold up as good. Now I'm not too sure about that. Again, this is not my opinion. What I've heard, I can kind of understand that though, because I bought San Andreas PS2 emulation, and that really doesn't hold up well. I'd say Bully holds up a lot better than San Andreas, even though San Andreas, one of the great games, not in the top 10, my top 10, but still one of the great games out there ever made. But Red Dead, I absolutely loved it. But the problem I think with it is it had a little bit of a slow start with, because obviously it's a cowboy game and, all that sort of stuff. The build-up was a little bit slow to me personally. But when you get into it, the ending in it and just the gameplay in general are really fun online. And again, there's a theme in this. Like, I don't like online, but at the same time, when it is done to what I'd say my standards, or what I really like in a game, it does push it up that extra level, because I don't play a ton of online. When I do play an online, it's good, in my opinion. Again, I could be completely wrong, and it's all opinions. But in my opinion, yeah, absolutely. So Red Dead Redemption, number 4, amazing game. And just a little heads up, if you are an Xbox One owner, it is through backwards compatibility. A little bit expensive. I'd wait for a price drop, because £25 for like an old game is a lot of money. But if you can get it second hand at game, give that a go, guys, because you will not regret it if you've not played it. Number three. Now this is now the next three. I'm gonna say minor spoiler alerts, but I'm trying my best not to spoil these games. Story driven, etc. Um, and number three. Now this took a lot of debate in myself. This took a lot of arguing, yeah, in my own head. You know what I mean? Should be a little bit worried about that. But yeah, this took a long time for me to figure out which one I really wanted at number two and number three. I knew number one, but and number three, Uncharted 4. To me, and this is months after, this is not the oh my god first week hype over the moon, and then it's like is it as good as I made it out a few weeks ago? No, Uncharted lives up to that standard. It is the best game this generation on any console, in my opinion. Bear that in mind. Some great games this generation, absolutely love this generation, but it's hands down the best game. Like it's not even come close to anything. There's an absolute ton of problems with the online. Like it's very laggy and it has its problems, and there is some balancing issues and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sat here gonna deny everything, but I love the online. I don't know what it is about the online. It frustrates me and it angers me, and I want to rage quit half the time. But it is now 2, 3 months down the line, and I'm still playing the goddamn thing. That is unheard of. Even if I'm like, oh, I love the game. As soon as I got all the trophies in The Last of Us, that thing was gone. Not gone. I kept the game, but I didn't play the online anymore. But this online, I cannot stop playing. I love the tactics to it. As you start the game, you can go round one way or follow your teammates. You can huddle up or try and get the counter attack. There's swimming sections, swinging sections, different maps. Does there need to be a little bit more content on the online? Probably, yeah, I'd agree with that. But to me, from what we're getting, the game, it's just unique in the way you can swing around, and it's fun, and it's not the most hard. It's definitely not the most hardcore online ever, absolutely. But I just love the fact that it is, yeah, just a lot of fun. It doesn't take itself too serious, and you can do the hotlight bling dance halfway through a match. Probably get killed, but at the same time, it doesn't take itself too serious. Uncharted 4 as well. Let's just cut the multiplayer out. Let's just say Naughty Dog were like, forget this game, let's launch just the single player. The single player is lengthy, it's full of content, there's a lot to explore, it's a lot more explorable than Uncharted 2, 3, definitely 1, definitely more explorable than that. It's the biggest Uncharted game, it's the most beautiful Uncharted game, it's the most beautiful game on any console. I can't say enough good about this game, guys. Like, I cannot say enough good about this game. And if you haven't bought it, I think it's on sale at Game at the moment. It may even be set on sale on the PS4. So absolutely do yourself a favour and go buy this game. There's enough content to keep you hooked for a long, long time, even if you're not a big fan of the online. The platinum's achievable. There's a few tricks around it that I didn't use, but if you want to use, hey, it reduces what like a lot of hours of extra gameplay, extra grind, so and extra annoyance as well. So hey, I ain't gonna blame you if you do it. But yeah, Uncharted, one of the great games this generation, and yeah, like I said, do yourself a favour and buy the game. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think you regret it. Now, this game I've been talking about a lot, and now there's another game that just hit all the nostalgia notes with me, and that is, I think it's called Pray to the Gods. I keep getting the name wrong because it's a weird name, but basically it's a Shadow of the Colossus-esque game. Now, the Shadow of the Colossus is just my game. It's a story and orientated game. It's just amazing. Like, I don't want to spoil it because it's very hard to talk about without spoiling the whole game. But you have one companion through the game, and you're doing it for you're beating these bosses. Basic oversight of Shadow of the Colossus, you are basically fighting 16 colossuses, or colossi as they call them. You're fighting them to morally help You're in a moral dilemma. You don't want to fight these things, but that's your task. You know, again, it's very difficult to talk about this game, but with a companion through the game. There is a sense of loneliness. There is a sense of scale. You know, you feel very small against the colossi. You've got to be tactical on how you take them down, and definitely on different, difficulty levels. It can get very, very difficult. So, everything about the game was amazing. You feel usually when you beat a game, let's just say I beat a boss. I'm going to use Uncharted 2. It's been out a long time. This has, but I don't want to spoil it because I think they're going to bring it to PS2 emulation very soon. Some people have never played it. So Uncharted 2, when I beat Lazarevic, I had no no qualms about beating that guy because he was annoying. But in this game, you beat a tough boss. It sort of has a moral aspect to it that kind of, why did I just take this guy down? And it's just amazing. Like, it simply is amazing. And like I said, if Sony doesn't bring this game to the PS2 emulation, they are literally throwing money away. They are throwing money away because I'd buy it. I'd buy a code and give it to a friend. It's that good. I wouldn't usually do that. I'm tight. But at the same time, I would for this game. It's that special. And yeah, the game's just incredible. It is on the PS3, and the thing is, my mentality is I want to play it with my PS4 controller. I want to play it with my PS4. When I get a new console, I want to put as many hours into that thing as I possibly can. I don't want to fire up the PS3 and do all that sort of stuff when I can buy it on the PS4. If it doesn't come this year, I'm going to take the plunge and I'm getting it because I need to play it again because it's such a great game. But enough going on about that. I've spent far too long on it. But just, guys, if you have a PS2 for some reason, still working, still lying about, please do yourself a favour and get the game. And if it does come to PS2 emulation, us Sony fans, us Sony supporters, who I assume are watching this video, PlayStation fans, all that good stuff, make sure you go out and buy it because it is a very special game. The controls are a bit clunky and whatnot. The camera's not that great. But forget all that. It's one of the greatest games of all time. So just play it. You know what I mean? So, sorry. Bit too deep into that. But Shadow of the Colossus, #2. But what beats this game, I think, is... Well, I've said it many a time. I've said it on my channel. And that is The Last of Us. This game, on the PS3, I remember getting this and just thinking... How the hell is this doing it? Do you know what I mean? How has my PS3 not exploded? Like, you look at Uncharted 3, which is a beautiful, stunning game, but it's not The Last of Us. Do you know what I'm saying? It isn't The Last of Us quality. Visually beautiful, stunning. I love the stealth mechanics. I love the gameplay. I love everything about the game. I love the multiplayer. The trophies put me off the multiplayer because I had to do it twice on the PS3 and the PS4 version. Now you're saying to yourself, you didn't have to do it because you goddamn trophy, or that's why you did it. And that's very true. But it kind of tainted my experience with the multiplayer. But at the same time, the game is one of, the story, again, I put a lot of story orientated games, so I'm sorry if I haven't given in-depth description. That's simply because I don't want to ruin the game for people who've never played it before. Oh, here's the ending. Do you know what I mean? But this has one of the most thought-provoking, emotional endings to a game I've ever played. I've played a lot of games, this hands down, because it kind of, and again, this is a big spoiler, but it's not, I'm not going to go into detail, but I'm going to kind of, and that is that it kind of makes you question your morality in the sense that the whole game, we're trained to think that we're the good guy. Joel is the good guy. He's the big strapping American guy trying to save this girl. But when you seems and yeah, it's really, really interesting. It's really thought provoking, and I think the worst thing about The Last of Us is that once you've beaten it once, you will never be able to say playing The Last of Us for the first time, because it's such a shocking ending. It's such a shocking game. It's such an emotional game. that it's so weird that the best time you'll ever play it is the first time, in my opinion. But again, ramble on. Sorry about that, guys. But let me know your guys' thoughts. What's your opinion? What's your favourite game? Am I completely off? Is this a terrible list? It's very, very hard to do a top 10 list because it's like I've got to go through all the PS1 games I played and try and remember them. And it's very, very difficult. And even during this video, I'm like, I love this game. I put so many hours into it, but I've forgotten aspects to it. And you know what I'm saying, especially the PS1 games. But yeah, just let me know your thoughts, guys, and what did you enjoy. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're not already. But as always, guys, this has been Eminem Gaming, and I'll catch you guys later.